I found that the data taken during the experiment are at times incorrect, grossly incorrect, and at times um, there are some other problems associated with this particular experiment. I guess you can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
That is, you'll find that in this particular experiment, we'll be using a relay. And because of the chatter of the relay, that creates real problem, and hence at times we get results which are not accurate, not at all accurate, right? So interpretation of the data and inferences drawn will also be incorrect. So I'll try to explain you what should be the values had it been the case that the relay is behaving like an ideal one. That is one problem with relay, and there is another problem with the sensor diode. So we'll find that we'll use a sensor diode for measuring the temperature of the plant, and the sensor diode often behaves very erratically. So that's why at times the results or the values that we get during the experiment are often erroneous, right? So that's why I guess the report is not going to help us uh, um, properly. Anyway, let's try to understand the essence of the experiment, the basic of the experiment. So should I start recording?
Yes, ma'am.
51.
No, ma'am, it's
Rohit,
less than that because someone has joined
51.
two accounts.
Hmm,
I'm joined by two accounts.
okay. Rohit, please send me the attendance. Should I make it a full screen one or it's legible?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Okay. So the name of the experiment is Study of On-Off Control System, and the objective is to study the operation of a feedback on-off temperature control system. Right now, familiarization with the building blocks, that means the units that we are going to use in this particular experiment. The first one is obviously the input transducer. Input transducer. So the reference or set point value of the temperature is given to the control system via a potentiometer whose gain constant is 0.1 volt per degree centigrade. That means it's a temperature control system. So naturally, feedback temperature control system. So it's quite natural that the input to the system should be a reference temperature, which we call the set point value. Like, say, if we want to control the temperature of this particular room, of a particular room, and suppose we want to maintain the temperature at, say, 25 degree centigrade, then the input or the reference input or the set point should be 25 degrees centigrade. That means the temperature, physical quantity is temperature, right? But actually what we do, we use a transducer where the temperature is converted into a voltage value, right? So that's why the input transducer will be required, and that is the conversion ratio. I'll show you the input transducer, and naturally the at the output of the plant, at the output of the, or we can say the output of the controlled entire controlled system, again will gauge the temperature, that is the temperature of the room, actual temperature of the room, right? Again, that particular temperature has to be converted into a voltage value, and hence thereby we can compare the input voltage to the output voltage when the system will be configured as a closed loop system. So from output temperature, we'll have to convert that temperature into a voltage value. So that's why we need an output transducer as well. So the output temperature or the measured value is measured by means of a small signal silicon diode embedded in the system, right? And here, as a temperature sensor or as the transducer, we are using this particular silicon diode. Why? Because if we pass constant current through this particular sensor diode, we call it a sensor diode, right? So its voltage, the forward drop of the diode given by U will be given by, is a function of temperature, and it's given by A minus By, where Y is the temperature, and here A and B are constants, and here we have used these two values. The value of A is this and value of B is this. So we are not very concerned about these values, and we'll see that we have developed a level shifter, amplifier cum level shifter block, whose function is to convert this particular voltage or shift the level of this particular voltage, and the output of the amplifier cum level shifter will get a voltage value C, which is directly proportional to the temperature of the plant, and the relation is, the proportionality constant is 0.1, right? So it's clearly written over here. You see that for a temperature of 73 degrees centigrade, if we obtain a value, or we get a value, or if the temperature of the plant is 73 degree Celsius, then the voltage value will be 7.3 volt. Okay. So again, we see that the scale of this, or conversion ratio of the output transducer, is same as the input transducer, and it's given by 0.1 volt per degree centigrade. Now, okay, first I'm going through this, then I'll show you the system on the plant. So naturally, we need a plant whose temperature is to be controlled. So the system under the study is a block of aluminium that is heated. Since temperature controlled, so we want to maintain the temperature of the plant, right? So we conceive a situation where the temperature of the plant increases and the controller is able to control the increase in the temperature. Secondly, it might so happen that the temperature of the plant may decrease. In that case also, the controller or the controlled system should be able to raise the temperature of the plant and should be able to maintain the temperature of the plant as dictated by the reference input, right, within a certain error. What is the meaning of that? Suppose we want to maintain the temperature of a particular room at 25 degrees centigrade, then if due to some reason, if the room gets heated, then it might so happen that the temperature will increase up to say 30 degrees centigrade, then the controller will be able to bring down the temperature, right, sharp at 25 degrees centigrade, and it might so happen that due to some cooling action the temperature of the room decrease, say at around 20 degrees centigrade, then the controller should be able to increase the temperature. Now, generally, what we do not maintain the temperature sharp at 25 degrees centigrade. Why, that I'll discuss later on. But we try to maintain the temperature of the room around 25 degrees centigrade, around the reference or set point value, uh, with having a certain margin. Like, suppose the reference value is 25 degrees centigrade, then our aim or the control objective will be to maintain the temperature of the room, say from 27 to 23 degree, right? The temperature will not decrease below 23 degrees centigrade and will not increase, will not exceed 27 degrees centigrade. So we are keeping plus minus 2 degrees centigrade, that particular margin. So that will reduce the relay chattering, and accordingly the life of the relay will increase. Now here, for increasing the temperature of the plant, that is for heating purpose, we are using a 65-watt electrical heating element, that is basically a soldering iron, and for cooling purpose we are using a very small 15-watt fan. So the block is assumed to have, that means the plant is assumed to have uniform temperature throughout its body. There is no temperature gradient. That is our assumption, basic assumption. Though the diagram is not very clear, it's a very old setup, right? So this is the plant. This is the aluminium block. Can you identify the aluminium block? This
Yes,
is the
ma'am.
aluminium block. And the sensor diode is embedded in this particular plant, right? And this is the soldering iron used as heater in this particular experiment. And this is a very small fan. Generally, we get this kind of fans in the system of a desktop computer. So we have used such a fan for cooling purpose of this plant, which is the aluminium block, right? Now the sensor will sense the temperature of the plant, and the signal is being carried over here. Right, I guess you'll be able to. Can you see this? Amplifier plus level shifter.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is the amplifier plus level shifter. So the output of the plant is basically input to this amplifier and level shifter block, which is the output transducer, and this is the output terminal of this particular block. These are the ground terminals, as you can see. Now this is our input transducer, that is a potentiometer, right? Plus 10 volt, 0. So we can vary the value from 0 to plus 10 volt, and this is the knob with the help of which the position of this jockey can be changed, and this is the terminal from which we'll take the voltage. Now the voltage, that means the reference input voltage. Reference input voltage means the we do have a reference temperature, we have converted that to voltage, so that set point voltage is given to this difference amplifier, and this amplifier, when the system will be run as a closed loop system, then this difference amplifier will act as a summer or subtractor, right? So the input, the reference input at one terminal of this summer, and the output terminal or the output signal C will be in the closed loops. From this we'll take the voltage value of the plant, and it will be connected to this particular terminal. So at the output will get the difference value. So this amplifier will act as an error detector, right? Now in closed loop configuration, the output of this error detector will be given as the input to this Schmidt trigger. The Schmidt trigger will give us the hysteresis band, and the output of the Schmidt trigger will be connected to a relay, right? So these are the elements that we are using, circuit elements, circuit components that we are using in this experiment. And as you can see, we do have two sockets. One is for heater and another for fan, right? And so you see, when this movable part or link will be connected to this point, right? And if we connect the fan, just a moment. Yes. Can you see these two plugs? One is for the heater, the other one is for the fan. So we'll connect in the closed loop configuration. Can you see this?
Yes,
This
ma'am.
two. So in the closed loop configuration, we'll connect these two plugs, one in this heater terminal in this particular socket, the other one in this particular socket, right? So this one is for heater, this one is for fan. So when this link will be connected to this terminal, and if the socket of the fan is connected here, then what will happen? The fan, this is the supply line, as you can see, 20 volt 50 hertz or 230 volt 50 hertz. So the fan will be connected across this phase, and if this movable link is connected to this particular point, then the heater, the heater will be connected across, the fan will be disconnected and the heater will be connected across the phase. Is it clear? So at one point of time, either in the closed loop configuration, either the heater will be connected in the phase or the fan will be connected in the phase.
Ma'am, will you explain the total control diagram? This black box again in the experiment, later on experiment.
This diagram, this black box,
Black box.
this
I
is
mean,
not a black box. Really, this is not a black box. Anyway, no, during the experiment, I'm not going to discuss the circuit. Why?
then ma'am, can you please explain again?
Which one? Which part?
Ma'am, the output of amplifier, how it used by in
Output of
differential
the
amplifier.
amplifier. Output
Yes,
of
ma'am.
the amplifier. So in the closed loop configuration that we'll see later on, the output of this amplifier.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So the output of this amplifier will give us the voltage value which is equivalent to the temperature of the plant, right? That means the output signal. Output
Yes, ma'am.
signal. So this output signal will be connected to this terminal. Right now you see this terminal, the second terminal, this is the non-inverting terminal, and this is the inverting terminal of this difference amplifier. So right now you can see that the inverting terminal is connected to the ground. So this is basically the connection for open loop configuration. Now when we'll go for closed loop control, then we'll connect a patch cord from this point to this point. That means the output signal generated by the system will be given as the second input to this error detector.
Okay, ma'am. And what the input of, I mean, what the reference, and I mean, how the reference, how we get the reference voltage?
That will see.
What's the,
That will see uh, uh, what value of the reference voltage we are going to set during the experiment.
okay, one last thing, ma'am. The importance of Smith trigger. I mean, the circuit of Smith trigger is not clear for me. I mean, why it is
The
connected.
circuit of the Schmidt trigger I am not going to discuss.
I mean,
Yeah,
the output and input.
that
How
I'll
it is.
discuss. That I'll discuss.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay.
So any other figure? Let me see. Okay. So this is the plant part, right? This is the soldering iron. This is the fan, and these are the two plugs. One for this, one of this soldering iron, the other one of this fan. So now we have seen that yes, the plant is a block of aluminium, and for heating purpose we are using a soldering iron. For cooling we are using a fan. An error detector that we have discussed is necessary to find out the possible error between the reference and the feedback variables. So R is the reference input, C is the control output. So this is the error, and this error voltage will be can be obtained from the output of the difference amplifier. So a unity gain difference amplifier is used for this purpose. Now Schmidt trigger, so if we connect the Schmidt trigger, then the error signal is passed through a Schmidt trigger whose output is a Boolean variable, right? So the output of the Schmidt trigger will be 1 if the error signal is greater than equal to a prefix threshold value, which is given by capital E, right? So if the error signal that means R minus C, if the R minus C is greater than equal to a threshold value, then or prefixed value, then the Schmidt trigger output, the output of the Schmidt trigger will be 1, and otherwise if the error R minus C is less than this pre-specified value E, capital E, then the Schmidt trigger value will be 0. Now please note that E is a potentiometer adjustable threshold of the Schmidt trigger. This threshold value E, just can be set as per our desire with the help of this potentiometer, right? Here you can see two positions, A and B. So during the experiment, when we'll study the closed loop performance of this potentiometer, right? We'll put this particular potentiometer at these 2 points, at A as well as at B. So what is the difference? That we'll see when we'll discuss those rounds. So the values plus E and minus E are also termed as the upper trigger point and lower trigger point. Just ignore the arrows. So this is the transfer characteristic of the Schmidt trigger. So what is the input to the Schmidt trigger? The input is E. So along x-axis will plot the error signal E, which is R minus C, right? And at the output of the Schmidt trigger, as you can see, just ignore the arrows. Okay. So we'll see, you see there are 2 levels. This is one level, this is the second level, right? So the output of the Schmidt trigger could either be 1 or could be 0. Is it clear? So this is the transfer characteristics, and you see the transfer characteristics is like a closed curve, right? So Schmidt trigger, which is introducing a hysteresis kind of nonlinearity in this particular system, right? So this nonlinearity is basically a memory based nonlinearity. That means at one particular point, and one particular point, what is going to be the output of the Schmidt trigger, whether the output will be 1 or 0, whether the output will be 1 or 0, that will depend on the past value of the error signal, or past value of the output of the Schmidt trigger. Am I clear? So if we move in this particular direction, if we move on in this particular direction, then this memory based kind of nonlinearity will remember that it was moving in this particular direction, the previous value was 0, hence at this particular point the Schmidt trigger will generate a value which is again 0. And if I assume this to be the 1, the high level, then if we move along this direction or along this direction, right, then suppose we are moving in the direction of this arrows. So since at this point the output of the Schmidt trigger was 1, then after a while at this point the output of the Schmidt trigger will remain constant at 1, right? The values will change at this point and at this point. Am I clear? Have you understood? So at the output of the Schmidt trigger, either will get a 1 or a 0. Have you understood the transfer characteristics of a Schmidt trigger? And we call it a typical hysteresis kind of nonlinearity. So this plus E and minus E are also termed as upper trigger point and lower trigger point. Let me show you once again. So this one is the upper trigger point and this one is the lower trigger point.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, in the function, it was written that if that error is greater than that potentiometer adjustable threshold value, then only we will get 1. But here in the graph, it is showing that we are getting value 1 in between minus C to plus C.
That's why I told you. That's why I told you I have taken this diagram from the report. That's why I told you just ignore the arrows, direction of arrows, right? Try to understand how a Schmidt trigger behaves. What is a typical hysteresis kind of nonlinear characteristics? Am I clear?
Ma'am, can you please explain the Schmidt trigger again?
The Schmidt trigger,
The transfer characteristic. Yes, ma'am.
the transfer characteristics, this is the transfer characteristics. Just ignore the arrow directions. Simply ignore the arrow directions. So it's a closed curve. It's a closed curve, right? So if we can assume that for the time being, if the error signal is lying between these 2 points, that means the upper trigger point and lower trigger point, right? Then the output of the Schmidt trigger will be 0. At this point, at the upper trigger point, the output of the Schmidt trigger will change its state and it will become 1, right? And okay, I'm trying to explain considering this arrow direction. While I'll be explaining the experiment, then I'll discuss what is actually happening. So at the upper trigger point, the value will change to 1, right? Now the output will remain 1 within this particular band. That means from plus E to minus E. the value will remain 1, and at the lower trigger point, again the value will change. The state of the Schmidt trigger will change, and it will change from 1 to 0.
ম্যাম তার
So
মানে
now
এটা
it's
দুটো
0.
ম্যাম
Huh?
তার মানে এটা দুটো পার্ট আছে, একটা হচ্ছে মাইনাস ই টু প্লাস ই, একটা হচ্ছে প্লাস ই টু মাইনাস ই। মানে when it comes from minus e to plus e, it will remains zero. I mean and it changes state at plus e, right?
It changes its state at plus E. Now once
And
it
then it remains
changes,
zero for minus e.
it will remain, it will generate that particular Boolean value after the change of this particular state, unless it reaches the lower trigger point or the other second trigger point. At the second trigger point,
Okay.
again the state will change, the Boolean value will change. Okay, and after that, in the next phase of excursion from minus e to plus e, or from one trigger point to the other trigger point, the present Boolean value will be maintained at the output. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any other question? So after this, discussing the open loop configuration, when I'll start discussing the closed loop configuration, then I'll explain this one. And this is important for E in the band minus E to plus E, H on may be 0 or 1 depending on its previous state, right? Now this band gap 2E, that means E minus minus E, that is equal to 2 is called the hysteresis band. Now we'll be using an electromagnetic relay. Have you studied electromagnetic relay?
I think it's in this semester.
Okay, so electromagnetic relay means basically there is an electromagnet. So if the supply is given to the electromagnet, naturally what will happen if the current flows through the coil of the electromagnet, along with the electromagnet there is an armature, right, and some fixed contact and are there. So what actually anyway, so when the electromagnet will be energized, it will attract, it will try to conserve the device or the basic circuit. So it will, the electromagnet will attract the armature, which is a movable part. So the armature will be attracted towards the electromagnet, and what will happen? The armature will touch another one fixed contact or contact point, and there what will happen? A circuit will be made, right? And if we remove the supply from the electromagnet, what will happen? Electromagnet will be de-energized and the armature will be repelled from that particular point, so contact will be broken. Have you understood anything?
Yes, ma'am.
So electromagnet relays are relays come with some contacts which are generally normally closed contact, normally open contacts. Okay, we can explain this. Suppose there is an electromagnet, right? Electromagnet, and if we give a supply to the electromagnet, what will happen? The because it's now an electromagnet, it will attract, suppose, this movable link or armature, right? And the link will move and it will now touch this particular point. So this contact will be broken and this contact will be made. Am I clear? So when the electromagnet is not judged, or electromagnet is not energized, rather, when the electromagnet is magnet is not energized, then we can say that yes, this is one contact, These two terminals form a contact, these two terminals form another contact. So this is a normally closed contact, or capital NC, normally closed. Why? When the electromagnet is not energized, this contact is closed. That's why this is called a normally closed or NC contact, and this contact is normally open. So when the electromagnet is not energized, this particular contact is normally open, and it is denoted by NO. NO, normally open, right? Now, the state of these two contacts will change if the electromagnet is energized. So it will be attracted towards this particular point, and now this normally open contact will be closed, and the normally closed contact will be open. Now, is it a little bit clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So when the Schmidt trigger will generate 1, then the relay or the coil of the electromagnet will be energized, right? And the relay will be off. That means the relay will be de-energized when H on value is equal to 0. And this is important, the heater and the fan will be so connected that when H on will be equal to 1, the heater will be connected, right, to its rated supply, and when H on will be 0, the fan will be connected in the phase. So I've already shown you the diagrams. So procedure. First of all, we'll have to disconnect the heater and fan plugs from their respective sockets. Turn on the AC supply. Measure the and record the value of the AC supply. Because of the regulation, it could be, say, instead of 230, it could be 32 or 228, right? So we'll have to measure the AC supply voltage with the help of a multimeter, and connect the non-inverting input of the difference amplifier and the inverting input. So the non-inverting input will be connected to the reference pot, right? So in the non-inverting input, we'll get the voltage value of a reference voltage value, right? And inverting terminal will be grounded, should be connected to the ground, and the output of the difference amplifier, which in the closed loop will act as an error detector, will be connected to the input of the Schmidt trigger. Fine. Now connect the sensor diode to the sensor amplifier, observing proper polarity. So these are the two terminals of the sensor diode, and we'll connect this to the input of this amplifier and level shifter block. So now we'll have to using a voltmeter, we'll adjust the input port so that the reference input becomes 1 volt. Right? So since C is 0, hence error is R minus C is equal to 1. So that's why the relay will be energized. and there is a light, there is a light, if the relay is energized, that we can identify with the help of this light. Okay. So measure the value of the sensor amplifier output and hence find the ambient temperature. We haven't connected the heater or the fan, right? So at this moment, if we measure the output of the sensor amplifier in terms of voltage, then the voltage value will provide us the ambient temperature of the room in which the setup is kept. Now we'll have to find out the steady state temperature rise above ambient. So the steady state temperature rise or temperature above ambient will be denoted by this notation Z, and the steady state temperature rise above ambient can be calculated with the help of this empirical formula, which is 0.00225 V that we have measured. This VAC is same as this voltage, which is on average 230 volt. So with the help of this formula, we can find out the steady state temperature rise above ambient. So next, what we'll do, we'll insert the heater plug in its socket. We'll not connect the fan now. So this is basically the system will now operate in open loop. So we'll insert the heater plug in its socket and consider this particular instant at time t equal to 0. Right? So now we'll measure the value of the sensor amplifier output C with the help of a voltmeter, with the help of a multimeter. So we'll measure the sensor amplifier output C at intervals of 1 minute up to 15 minutes. Because we have seen that within 15 minutes the temperature actually reaches its steady state value. So we'll have to develop a table, form a table where we'll note down the values of time, temperature C, that means the temperature of the plant C, and the temperature rise above ambient. And finally, we'll have to plot the temperature rise above ambient as a function of time on the graph paper. And from that particular plot, we'll have to find out, considering the system to be a first order system, we'll have to find out the heating time constant. So, is it legible? I don't know.
More or less.
So they have found the ambient temperature, the voltage to be 2.0.5 volt. Can you see this? Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So the ambient temperature is 20.5 degrees centigrade. The heater is not connected, fan is not connected. So we have measured the calculated the ambient temperature, and next, using that particular formula, we have calculated the steady state, not actually steady state, 63.2% of the steady state value of the temperature, and that is above ambient. So with that, we are adding the ambient temperature and we are getting the temperature rise, which is equal to the absolute temperature rise, which is equal to, I guess, 89.325 degrees centigrade. I can see the values from the screen. Let me look at the report. Yes, it's 89.325 degrees centigrade or 89.3 degrees centigrade, right? So why we have calculated this particular value? Because we'll have to raise the temperature of the plant. We have connected the heater and we'll have to raise the temperature of the plant up to this particular value so that we can find out the heating time constant, right? So this is the table. So there is no problem with this particular table. There is no problem in the open loop operation of the system. So this is the time t equal to 0 when we have connected the heater. We have connected the heater plug at the heater socket, right? So as you can see, since the heater is in the circuit, so the temperature is increasing. Gradually the temperature is increasing. The plant is being heated, and up to 15 seconds, starting from 0 to 14, they have noted these values of the temperature. The first column is absolute temperature and the last column is temperature rise above ambient. Is it clear? Next, what we'll have to do, let's see. Next, after 15 minutes, what we'll have to do? We'll remove the heater plug from its socket and we'll put the fan plug in the same socket. In the same socket. Remember, the relay is energized, right? So the circuit is made only if this normally open contact is closed. Relay is energized. So that means if this armature is at this point, then only the circuit will be closed, right? So that's why after 15 minutes, we have removed the heater plug and we have connected the fan plug at this particular socket, at the heater socket, not in the fan socket. Is it clear? So now the fan will be in the circuit and heater is removed from the circuit, so the cooling process will start. And when we'll be connecting we'll be putting the plug of the fan at the heater socket, that particular time instant should be considered to be time t equal to 0. From this time only, the cooling is taking place. The process of cooling is taking place, and we'll have to take readings Z versus T, and we'll have to plot Z versus T, and we'll have to take readings at the interval of 30 seconds up to 6 minutes, and we'll have to plot the Z versus T graph, and from the graph itself we'll have to find out the cooling time constant, right? So this is the process of cooling. So this is time t equal to 0. The output C was initially 9.52, that means 95.2 degrees centigrade, right? Now since we have, that is the temperature rise above ambient. Now since the fan is in the circuit, so the cooling will take place, and as you can see, the temperature is gradually decreasing. And after 6 minutes, the temperature is decreasing to a value which is nearly equal to 31.5 degrees centigrade. So far is this clear? Now this graph is not properly drawn. Two separate plots should be drawn, one for heating and one for cooling, right? Because as we have noted in the procedure, it was told that when the fan will be connected in the circuit, then after removing the heater, then that particular instant should be considered to be time t equal to 0. Okay, so one heating curve will be there, and there should be a second graph, a second plot representing the cooling process. Anyway, they have calculated the heating time constant and cooling time constant from this particular plot, considering this time instant to be, I guess, to be time t equal to 0. I'll give you the report. I'm not discussing the report itself, the report. Mm. Can you see? They have calculated the heating time constant. The heating time constant they have found to be nearly equal to 747 second, and here they have from the plot itself, considering this 36.7% this particular value, we know they have computed the cooling time constant, which is nearly equal to 207 second. Run 3 and 4. Now we have started the heating process and cooling process of the plant in the open loop configuration. Now we'll try to, and as you can see, if the heater is on and if the fan is on, accordingly the temperature of the plant will change. So actually we are not controlling the temperature of the plant when the plant was, or the entire system was in open loop. Now we'll configure the system as a closed loop system. So for that, we'll switch off the AC supply and take out the fan plug from the heater socket. So put the hysteresis adjustment port in position A. So in position A, the value of the hysteresis band is 400 millivolt, or value of plus E is equal to 200 millivolt, value of minus E is equal to minus 200 millivolt, and hence 2E will be equal to 400 millivolt. And 400 millivolt means, implies that temperature gap or temperature band which is equal to 2 degrees centigrade, isn't it? Sorry, 400 millivolt is equal to 4 degrees centigrade, and 200 millivolt is equal to 2 degrees centigrade, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
So as we have discussed, we have connected this particular terminal of the error detector to the reference input, and now the other terminal of the error detector will be connected to the output of the sensor amplifier and level shifter, right? And connect the Schmidt trigger input to the output of the difference amplifier. That means the error signal generated by the error detector will now be the input to the Schmidt trigger, and accordingly, depending on the error signal value and its excursion, the Schmidt trigger will generate either 1 or 0. Now we'll switch on the AC supply. So have you noted that now we are connecting the heater, or we are putting the heater plug in the heater socket and the fan plug in the fan socket. Okay. So switch on the AC supply and adjust the reference input to 7 volt. So the potentiometer value or the reference input to the error detector has been set to 7 volt, which means the reference temperature at which we want to maintain the plant is equal to 70 degree. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So now our control objective is to maintain the temperature of the plant at 70 degrees centigrade. So then switch off the supply and insert the heater and the fan plugs to their respective sockets. Now we are connecting the heater to the heater connecting heater as well as fan in the circuit, right? And depending upon the Schmidt trigger value and relay switching, either the heater will be automatically connected in the circuit, or the fan will be automatically connected in the circuit, right? So connect a voltmeter to the C output. That means with the help of a second voltmeter, will be measuring the voltage value corresponding to the temperature of the plant, and we'll switch on the AC supply, and we'll consider that time instant to be time t equal to 0. Now the closed loop control system is operational now. So now we have put the potentiometer associated with this Schmidt trigger to position in position A, which corresponds to a value of E is equal to 100 millivolt, right? Next, we'll see that if you put the potentiometer knob at position B, then the value of this E will be equal to 500 millivolt. That means 5 degrees centigrade, and the hysteresis band will be equal to 10 degrees centigrade. So I'm considering that the hysteresis band is equal to 10 degrees centigrade, and plus E is equal to 5 degrees centigrade, and minus E is equal to, or mod value of that is equal to 5 degrees centigrade again. So here the input to this difference amplifier is 7 volt. That means the temperature of the plant is to be maintained at 70 degrees centigrade, and now we have connected that the output to the second input of this error detector. So at this point we will get the error signal E, right? And since the band is this plus E is equal to 5 degrees centigrade, I'm considering the second position. So for my convenience only. So 5 degrees centigrade. So this point corresponds to a value which is equal to 70 degrees centigrade, right? Now this point is equal to, at this point the temperature will be 75 degrees centigrade, and at this point the temperature will be 65 degrees centigrade. So this is the margin which is equal to 10 degrees centigrade. The central value is 70 degrees centigrade because the reference input is 7. So that means we want to maintain the temperature of the plant at 70 degrees centigrade, but allowing this margin so we can tolerate the temperature excursion from 75 degrees centigrade to 65 degrees centigrade. Is it clear?
Yes.
Absolutely clear?
Yes.
Okay. So suppose we are going on, suppose, let's assume that what was the temperature actually? (31.5 degrees centigrade). So let's assume that in the last run, the temperature dipped to a value which is equal to around 31 degrees centigrade, say 30 degrees centigrade, right? So now what will happen? 30 degrees centigrade. So the temperature is too low. So what will happen? What will happen? Whether the relay will be energized or not. Don't you get my question? You see, what is the reference input? What is the reference input? I'm explaining in terms of temperature. It will be easier for you to understand the basic concept. So the input temperature, reference temperature is 70 degrees centigrade, right? Now we're assuming that after the cooling process, the temperature of the plant, say 25 degrees centigrade, so, or 30 degrees centigrade. Okay, so this value is 30 degrees centigrade. So what is the value of the error signal? What is the error voltage? 70 minus 30.
Minus 30.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
40 degrees centigrade. So 40 degrees centigrade is certainly greater than 5 degree.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means H on will be 1.
Yes, ma'am.
So H1 means the relay will be energized. The coil of the electromagnet will get the required supply. So relay will be energized. Hence, this movable link, or I can say this to be the armature of the electromagnet relay, will now be attracted, and now the contact, this particular contact, NO contact, will be made. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So fan is off, fan is cut off from the circuit, and the heater is now in the circuit, right? So temperature will go on increasing. Temperature will increase, temperature of the plant will increase, and we want that because the temperature of the plant should be maintained within these two values. That means from 65 degree to 75 degree, right? So let's assume since the heater is on, H1 is on, so it will remain on till the temperature is 75 degree. Clear?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So till the temperature is 75 degree. Now 75 degree, so if the temperature of the plant is 75 degree, then what will be the status? What will be the status? The reference input is 70 degree and the feedback voltage or feedback temperature or the plant's temperature is 75 degree. So what will happen? Or say 74.9 degree. So the error signal is equal to minus, say, 4.9 degree centigrade.
Yes, ma'am.
Which is less than 5 degrees centigrade.
Of course. Yes, ma'am.
So at this point, now the fan will be energized. H on will be, why? Because H on is now 0. We know that H on is 0 if E is less than capital E.
Ma'am, what will happen if it's is equal to minus 5? I mean 5.
No, it has been set like this.
Okay.
Ideally, it should be the Schmidt trigger and the relay should operate in this particular way. It has been designed, the controller block actually consists of your Schmidt trigger and relay. The controller block has been designed in this way. Oh, okay. So at this particular point, relay will be de-energized as the temperature is now 74.9, or if you make it equal, it will be 75 degree. right? So in general, I can say if it exceeds 75 degree, now the heater should be ideally off and the fan should be on. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
at this point, the fan will be energized and H on will be, H on is now 0. So relay is de-energized. Since H on is equal to 0, hence just try to follow the sequence. First of all, H on is 0 and hence relay is de-energized and hence the heater is cut off from the circuit and fan is connected in the circuit and hence now the cooling of the plant or cooling process will start automatically. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So if I follow this transfer characteristics, H on 0, right? H on 0, so now H on will remain 0 within this band, plus E to minus E. At this particular upper trigger point, the heater got switched off and the fan got connected in the circuit. Okay, now follow the cursor. So now H on will remain 0. Why? Because at this point H1 was 0, the past value was 0. So it remembers the Schmidt trigger or hysteresis kind of memory based nonlinearity, remembers its past value and maintain that particular value unless otherwise triggered, right? So in this particular band, that means from 75 degree to 65 degree, the fan will remain on ideally. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now at this point, when the temperature of the plant will be 65 degree, 65 degree, the difference will be 5 degree, which is greater than or equal to 5, right? So at this lower trigger point, at this particular point, the Schmidt trigger will change its state. Now it will be, since E is greater than equal to capital E, which is equal to 5 volt, hence H on will be 1. So at this point, the fan will be cut off from the circuit and the heater will be connected. Heater will get connected in the circuit. Have you understood? Here the fan is getting included in the circuit and heater is getting cut off. At this point, heater is now will be operative and while the fan is cut off. Am I clear? And the Schmidt trigger, since why the heater will be connected, because the Schmidt trigger at this particular point, since H on is equal to 1 as E greater than equal to E, hence it will change its level from 0 to 1. 0 to 1. Since H on is 1, the relay coil will be energized and hence what will happen? Again, this contact will be connected to this point.
Okay.
Right? So now from 65 to 75, ideally, H on will remain on, H on will remain on, will see if we could perform the experiment. We could have seen that the relay will remain on and this particular light will glow in this particular period and H on will remain on and hence the temperature of the plant will start again increasing from 65 to 75 degree. Again, when the temperature will reach 75 degree or will try to exceed 75 degree, ideally, what will happen? Now H1 will now become 0. This is the other trigger point, the upper trigger point. H1 will be 0, relay will be de-energized. Since the relay is de-energized, hence this moving link will be repelled or will not remain attracted by the electromagnet and hence the moving link will move from this point to this point, and hence now the heater will be off and the fan will be connected. Just check whether you have understood this or not. This is basically the principle of closed loop control, or closed loop temperature control, which we can say on off control, because once the output of the Schmidt trigger, where is the cursor? Yes, once the output of this Schmidt trigger is 1, and at this point the output of the Schmidt trigger is 1, at this point the output of the Schmidt trigger is 0, or once the heater is getting connected to the circuit and next time the fan is getting connected to the circuit, and for a certain period of time heating is taking place, and for a certain period of time cooling is taking place. So that's why we call it on-off control system, and this particular system is an on-off temperature control system, and the system is now operating in closed loop. Manually will not have to do anything. Manually will not have to connect the heater or the fan. Have you understood the principle of working?
Yes, ma'am.
Principle?
Yes, ma'am.
So rest is some tables. Mostly the entries are incorrect. So now in this case, for run 3 and 4, we have connected or we have put the adjustment port, hysteresis adjustment port in position A, and the value of E is 200 millivolt. That means ideally the excursion now should be from 72 degree to 68 degree. So when the temperature of the plant will reach 68 degree, the heater will be on, heater will be connected, and the temperature will start increasing. And when the temperature of the plant will reach 72 degree, then the heater will get disconnected from the circuit and the fan will get connected in the circuit and the cooling process will take place. So cyclically the temperature of the plant will change from 68 to 72, then back to 68, again 72, then back to 68, so on and so forth. Is it clear? So if the system connected in this particular manner is connected to the, if energy is given to the system, power is given to the system, we'll find that if you measure the voltage, or we'll find that continuously the temperature is increasing from ideally 68 to 72 degree, and then the temperature is decreasing from 72 to 68 degree. Again the temperature is increasing from 68 to 72 degrees, so on and so forth. So the rest of the portions are not that important, I guess, because this time you will not be able to appreciate this procedures, this steps, these runs, because you're not performing the experiment. Do not take any readings, but try to accurately record time at which relay is de-energized. Relay de-energized means the fan will be connected. As I said, when the temperature will be start increasing from 30 degree and will reach 75 degree. At that particular time, the relay will be de-energized and the fan will be connected and the cooling process will start. Is it clear? Have you understood this part?
Yes, ma'am.
So I've been asked to record the value of the temperatures or the corresponding voltages every 20 seconds. And what is the maximum temperature and minimum temperature, relay on time and off time. how long the relay is remaining energized, and what is the duration uh, for which the relay when the relay is de-energized, right? And ideally for 200 millivolt, that particular, or 400 millivolt hysteresis band, ideally the high temperature should be 2 degree and the low temperature um, should be 68 degree. And one more thing you just try to notice, since the reference input is 70 degree, so as I said, the highly, and I guess now you'll be able to appreciate the fact that ideally the high temperature should be, the highest temperature should be, or maximum temperature should be equal to 72 degree, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what will be the error? The reference input error is E, the error voltage is equal to R minus C. R is 70 degree and C is 72 degree, right? So what is the error voltage? R minus C, minus 2 degree. I'm explaining in terms of temperature. Again, I'm saying I'm explaining in terms of temperature,
Yes.
right? And YL 68 degree. That means, so when the temperature will reach the minimum value, then the error voltage will be, or error temperature will be equal to 70 minus 68 degree, that is plus 2 degree. Clear?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So what we find that continuously the error temperature will change its polarity from cyclically from minus to plus, back to minus, then to plus. Is it clear?
Yes.
So this diagram is incorrect. Both the contacts could not be normally open. That I have explained. We have seen in the previous circuit that the contact which is associated, the relay contact which is associated with the fan is normally closed, whereas the contact which is associated with the fan is, sorry, with the heater is normally open. So I did check this report. So this is incorrect. And here either relay was not properly working, the relay switching time was um, actually relay was not properly working, and hence the switching of the relay was not accurate. So that's why you find that, as we have discussed, ideally the maximum temperature should be 72, around 72. It could be, due to some error, it could be 73 or um, 71, something like that. But here you see the maximum temperature is, or the temperature is increasing up to 75 degree, and the minimum temperature, which ideally should be 62 degree, here we find the minimum temperature to be around 6.89 degree, right? So there is a problem with, I guess there is a problem, there was a problem with relay switching. Anyone in this class from NOPC?
Shubham.
NOPC
Yes, ma'am.
ক্লাস করেছো নন লিনিয়ার কন্ট্রোলের
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম।
ব্যাং ব্যাং কন্ট্রোল অন অফ কন্ট্রোল
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম, এটা আগের বার
can you
বলেছিলেন।
recall can you recall on off control and
Yes, sir.
switching time? When we discussed on off control, we discussed that the switching time, the exact instant when the relay will switch its state, that is very, very important, right? So here the relay was not, I guess, functioning properly. The relay actually creates severe problem for this particular experiment. So I am not discussing. This is the heater on. The sequence is incorrect. Heater on time, rather. This sequence is correct. Heater on time is associated with maximum temperature, YA, and heater off time is should be associated with minimum temperature. So heater on time 62, and the maximum temperature that they have recorded was around 75 degree or almost 76 degree, which is not the correct value. And the minimum heater off time, that means when the cooling process was taking place. So the time is 18 second, and the minimum temperature, or in this case they have noted the minimum temperature to be 70.4 degrees centigrade. So actually the switching of the relay was not functioning properly, and the error values here, since these values are not correct, actually we have not the correct values, hence will not get the correct values of the error voltage. So actually during the experiment, or in the from the report itself, we will not be able to appreciate this particular fact, but I have tried to explain you ideally what should happen. So observe that the polarity of error is indeed reversing cyclically under this condition. So record the maximum and minimum values of voltage error and temperature error. So maximum value of temperature error ideally should be plus 2 degree, and the minimum should be minus 2 degree. Right? So this phenomenon, frequently observed in on-off control system, is termed as limit cycle. That means continuously the temperature is increasing from 68 to 75, 72 degree, and then again falling from 72 to 65 degree. Anyway, I'll try to, and from this plot it's clear that the cooling process and the heating process, since we have assumed the plant to be a first order one, considering there is no temperature gradient. So this is an exponential rise and this is an exponential decay. So in the next run, with the system running, adjust the hysteresis adjustment potentiometer to position B, which corresponds to an E of 500 millivolt. So that means the hysteresis band is equal to 10 degrees centigrade, and the excursion of the temperature will be from 65 degree to 75 degree, and the rest are same. Now, in the last run, what we are doing, quickly we are decreasing the value of R to 5 volt. So the value of R was set to 7 volt. That means we were trying to maintain the temperature of the plant around 70 degrees centigrade. So now if we decrease the value of R to 5 degree, that means now we are trying to control the temperature of the plant automatically around 50 degrees centigrade. Is it clear? So if the temperature was say it was around 68.8 degree, that is the temperature of the, that was the temperature of the plant. Now we have changed the reference input to 5 volt. That means now the desert temperature is 50 degrees centigrade, and hence the automatically the fan will be connected. You calculate the error value and try to find out what will be the status of H1, whether it will be 1 or 0. We'll find that H1 will be equal to uh, H1 will be 0, and hence the fan will be connected in the circuit, and temperature, I'm assuming that this was the temperature right at the moment, temperature of the plant right at the moment when we have set the input to 5 volt or 50 degrees centigrade, right? So now the fan will be connected in the circuit, and hence the temperature will start decreasing from say 68.8 around 70 degrees centigrade, and it will decrease up to 45 degree, because still the band is 500 millivolt, right? So the plus C and minus C values are plus minus 5 degree. So the temperature excursion will now be from 45 degree to 55 degree. Okay, from 45 degree to 55 degree, and hence the temperature will start decreasing from 70 degree to up to 45 degree, and then again the heater will be on, and the temperature of the plant will increase up to 55 degree. Again the after 55 degree, the fan will be connected in the circuit, heater will be off, so the temperature will again decrease to 45 degrees, so on and so forth. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Here they have tried to find out the transfer function of the plant, and we have assumed that the plant is a first order one. And go through this part, but this diagram is absolutely incorrect. Absolutely incorrect. But I'm trying to show you the nature of the limit cycle. So if you plot the temperature versus time plot, do you have any questions so far what I have discussed?
No, ma'am.
Almost we are at the end of our discussion. Okay, let it be. Again, this is a very poor graph. I couldn't draw any the exponential nature, but what I have tried to show you that suppose when we have changed the reference input from 70 degree to 50 degree, at that time, if you assume that the temperature of the plant was 73 degree, then now the fan will be connected in the circuit, and the temperature of the plant will start decreasing in an exponential manner. As we have seen in case of cooling process when the system was operating in open loop. So the temperature will decrease up to 45 degree, and now the heater will be connected in the circuit and fan will be off, and hence the temperature of the plant will start increasing up to 55 degree, considering 500 millivolt or 1000 millivolt of hysteresis band, and at this point again the heater will be disconnected. So this nature, you see the output of the plant will be bounded between these two values 55 and 45. Ideally the output of the plant cannot go beyond this value, as well as cannot decrease beyond this value. So it cannot go beyond this value. So the output is constrained or bounded within these two values around the reference temperature. So this cyclical behavior, this nature, actually this will be exponential rise followed by exponential cooling like this. So this kind of sustained oscillation, I must say. The sustained oscillation, if you consider from this particular point, this kind of sustained oscillation with fixed amplitude and fixed frequency, is called limit cycle, and some nonlinear systems actually exhibit limit cycles at their output. Linear system cannot exhibit limit cycles. So limit cycles are observed in nonlinear systems only. Any question?
No, ma'am.
Should I close this file?
Yes, ma'am.
কিছু কি বোঝা গেল? একটা লিমিট সাইকেল কাকে বলে সেটা বোঝা গেল? অন অফ কন্ট্রোল সিস্টেমটা কি করে অপারেট করছে? হ্যাভ ইউ আন্ডারস্টুড দিস? Forget about the data and forget about the tables.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you understood the control concept or control aspect of this particular experiment?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you don't have any question, should I close this file?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay. আচ্ছা, রোহিত, সুগত, probability statistics, আধ ঘন্টা একটু ক্লাস নেব?
ম্যাম আজকে আর অন্য একদিন করে দিন ম্যাম, আজকে এমনি ছুটির দিন ম্যাম।
আমি ওই জন্য 9টা অব্দি শিডিউল করেছিলাম। আমি ভেবেছিলাম যে একটু আগে এটা শেষ করতে পারবো, অনেকটা টাইম লেগে গেল। তারপরে 1 ঘন্টা একটু তোমাদের ক্লাস নিয়ে নেবো, লাস্ট উইকে তো নিতে পারিনি।
ম্যাম ডেট অ্যারেঞ্জ করে দেবো, অসুবিধা নেই, কিন্তু আজকে এমনি ছুটির দিন ম্যাম।
আমার কিন্তু আরো গোটা 10 ক্লাস লাগবে মিনিমাম।
গোটা 10 মানে 2 ঘন্টা করে গোটা 10?
2 ঘন্টা তো হয় না, 1.5 ঘন্টার বেশি খুব একটা কি হয়? হয় না।
আচ্ছা ম্যাম।
হ্যাঁ, 15th মে রিজলভ।
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম, অনেক সময় আছে, অসুবিধা হবে না।
আমার কিন্তু ক্লাস চাই। ওই
হ্যাঁ
জন্য
ম্যাম।
আমি ভেবেছিলাম তোমরা জিজ্ঞেস করবো, ওই জন্য আমি 9টা অব্দি ইচ্ছে করে শিডিউল করে রেখেছিলাম।
হ্যাঁ,
যে
আমরা
at
তো
least
প্রথমে
তোমরা যদি
ভাবছিলাম ল্যাবটাই 2 ঘন্টা, ল্যাবটাই 9টা অবধি যাবে
ল্যাবটা বড়,
শিডিউলে।
ল্যাবটা এমনি হাতে করতে গেলেও প্রচুর সময় লাগে, কারণ অতখানি টেম্পারেচার উঠতে নামতে প্রচুর সময় লাগে আর কি।
আচ্ছা ম্যাম, অসুবিধা নেই।
আর এটা এক্সপ্লেন করাটাও কোনো কিছু নেই তো। আর এটা তো ঠিক ওই আইডেন্টিফিকেশনের মতো নয় যে আমি অসিলোস্কোপে কিছু দেখতে পাচ্ছি। ফলে এটা ডিসকাস করতে একটু সময় লাগবে মনে হয়েছিল। এনিওয়ে আমি
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম।
ভেবেছিলাম 1.5 ঘন্টায় শেষ করে দেবো, 1.5 ঘন্টা ক্লাস নেবো। ঠিক আছে, কিন্তু ক্লাস তোমাদের অ্যারেঞ্জ করে দিতে হবে
হ্যাঁ
কিন্তু।
ম্যাম, ক্লাস অ্যারেঞ্জ করতে অসুবিধা নেই।
ওকে,
ঠিক আছে,
বাই।
থ্যাংক ইউ। হ্যাঁ ম্যাম।
শুভ নববর্ষ।
Wish you the same, ma'am.
থ্যাংক ইউ।
শুভ নববর্ষ ম্যাম।